Bertrand, it's such a pleasure to have you on Watch the Tech today. Before we get started, first, I have to thank you and Claudio for coordinating and allowing me to borrow and wear the mystery watch, which is now not a mystery, because I unboxed it yesterday and did a little bit of a review of this watch. The Endeavor Vanta Black is just a special treat. And for me, too, I don't own any rose gold watches, and I don't have any tourbillons, and I certainly do not have any watches with Vanta Black. So all of these things are very unique right now in my life, and so I've been wearing it since the moment I took it out of the box.
Very good. Happy you like it. Yeah, it's a special product. Vanta Black is very unique. I think it gives a unique look to any watches that we make with Vanta Black.
Yeah, definitely.
And the never created by humans. So. And you are in technology, so it's quite linked. I think it's quite
yes.
Good,
yeah. Well, it's funny because I was first drawn to Moser when your very first Vanta Black concept watch came out. That was the first time I saw the brand. I was like, what is this very well-designed, minimalist brand that has tons of detail at the same time, no logo, and using a material like Vanta Black? And that drew me in. And then here we are. Well, let me start off with an easy question here, and then they just get progressively harder, if that sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, perfect. Well, first, what's the Moser that you're wearing today? What's on your wrist?
So I have the chance. As I was in Barcelona this weekend for a special launch, and I kept those watches since then. So I'm wearing two watches actually, because I'm wearing the new Alpine edition, which comes as two watches. So on my left arm I have the driver piece, which is skeletonized chronograph, flyback chronograph with the automatic, and as it's usually hidden between the dial and the movement, this time it's on the dial side, so you can see it. It's with a blue PVD case and white rubber. And on the other side, I have our first connected watch with the mechanics edition, which you can see here better if I press the button. So
yeah.
How it works.
Nice. Those are so beautiful. You're also one of the few people that can get away with double wristing. When you release two watches, you can kind of wear two watches, no problems.
But yeah, it was the occasion. Been wearing it like that, so I thought I will keep it like that for a few days. But I'm more comfortable usually with just one watch.
Makes sense. Yeah, when I'm at an event or something, and it's of course a watch event, I see someone double wristing, I'm just like, it's the cringiest thing in the world. But in this case, in this moment, when you release it yourself, you can pull it off.
And my father always tell me, when I wear two watches, people will always ask me the question, why are you wearing two watches? So it gives us also an occasion to present what we are doing to people that don't know. So it could be a good way to start a conversation.
Okay. A little guerrilla marketing. I see you. Okay. So I know your father was in watches. He worked at AP. Your great-grandfather as well.
Great-great-grandfather.
Great-great-grandfather. Okay. Anyone else in your family? Cousins?
Yes, a lot, actually. Funnily enough, because I'm born in La Vallée, so one of the center of watchmaking. So basically, I have cousins, I have uncles, aunts, all my friends, their parents, more or less everybody, one way or another. If they don't work directly in the watch industry, they are linked to it one way or another. It's what La Vallée is about. It's a 6,000 people small village where you have brands like AP, you have Blancpain, Breguet, GLC, you have offices for Vacheron Constantin, Patek, so everybody is there. So you can imagine that more or less everybody, one way or another, work in the watch industry there.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, it's really, really, really in your DNA.
It is. Always. Even if my grandfather and my great grandfather were not in the watch industry because they were still living in La Vallée, but they were taking care of the small hotel in the middle of La Vallée until my father decided it was not for him, so he did not continue that, and he went back to the watch industry when he finished his study.
Got it. Okay, got it. And so actually going back to the watches on your wrist. So when Moser released the Pop collection at Watches and Wonders, I thought, all right, they've come out with amazing artistic pieces. These things are technical wonders, very complicated to make, but still very simple and kind of like the final presentation in a really beautiful way. I thought y'all were done. And then you released these two different Alpine editions. It kind of out of nowhere, honestly. You know, I was just opened Instagram as I do, and then I saw just the torrent of news on these. What was the inspiration to bring these watches to life, and then especially the Alpine Mechanics edition, which has the digital component, which I feel like that's kind of a risk, but that's Moser. Moser takes risks. So I would love to hear a little bit about that.
With pleasure. So I'll go in few phases as it's a quite complex product to explain. So as you know, we have this partnership with Alpine Formula One, with Alpine Motorsport to be more precise, but one part of Alpine is F1 that we have a partnership now for a bit over a year and a half now. And of course, we've been working for a while. Last year we did the first edition with a cylindrical tourbillon, and then we've been working on this year release for a bit of time. And first, we started to work with the drivers of Alpine to work on what will be their ideal Moser, what do they want. They came to visit the manufacturer a year ago, more or less, working. They wanted something skeletonized, they wanted blue, they wanted details they worked on. And that's how we designed with them. They wanted white rubber. There are many things that we discussed with them. We wanted a chronograph because it makes sense with Formula One. Etc. That's how we designed the driver edition with this blue PVD, the details, the skeletonized. We re-skeletonize all the movement to really see through on this complication, on the flyback chronograph, etc. We have a little helmet at the back designed in the middle of the movement. So quite a lot of work on that piece. And during the same time, my brother worked on the side on this first. He was working, we always said to the team, to the Formula One team, we don't want to just be a sponsor, we want to be a partner. And it's always been about partnership together. And so we discussed with them about what are their needs, what are they missing, where can we bring something. And the mechanics were always complaining that it's not it's all about timing in Formula One and how to always be extremely precise. You can imagine there is every second counts at every level, and it's a big team work to make sure everything is correct. So we started to imagine what can we put on their wrist that is Moser and that can help the team. And through that, working with a company that is called Sequent, we decided to design a watch linked to an app for the mechanics that they will wear a Moser piece on their wrist that will give them the information they need, that will help them communicate between each other, that will give them, often it's like 5 minutes before the car needs to go out, so they can just check and know the timing all the time, because it's all about making sure everything is ready on time. They get all the information they need, red flag, cars coming out, cars coming in. So it's really a tool for the mechanics that we developed, not knowing what we will do with it at that time. It was really when my brother came back like, oh, we worked on something, look. And we're like, okay, what do we do with that now? We have that, we're going to build for the mechanics, watch, and they're going to wear. It's linked to, like I say, an app that the engineers use, send them information during the race, during the trainings, during everything. They send the information they need on the watch. And that's when we say, yeah, then we believe a lot what we did at Moser, but what any successful company, it's about the teamwork. With only the drivers in Formula One, you go nowhere. It's really about the team. And usually every company that work in the watch industry, when they do a watch, they do really a driver watch. And we thought would be cool would be to do a package which is a team watch, which will come with the mechanics, which are as important As drivers, we usually say that 80% of the result in Formula One is linked to the car and 20% the driver. So it's even more important on the mechanic side. So to have the mechanic's watch and the driver's side together and create a package presenting both together. So it makes sense at that time to commercialize it as one, as a team, real Alpine team watches.
So just to summarize, you have created a watch that can actually help the Alpine team win and get an edge.
Again, it's all about details. In Formula One, like any of those sports where it's, there are 1,000 people working on 2 cars in this sport. So you can imagine how many details they work on. And yes, our tool that we're offering them, that have been developed with them, is an extra tool to make themselves better than the others. In addition, on the watch, then we created different other tools that are used for the users that will buy. Will have 3 modes, basically. You will have the Moser mode, where you have a chronograph, you have a perpetual calendar, so giving you the date, etc., and you have a world timer. Then you have the race mode, where basically it's when you are a fan of F1, it will give you the countdown, it will tell you 20 minutes to the race, 5 minutes to the race, it will give you the green flag, it will give you the information linked to F1. And then you have the team mode, which is really dedicated to the team, where they get all the information the team needs. And all 3 are available on the watch.
That is quite an app that you've partnered on to build. Well, speaking of continuing to take risks and do things that really have never been done before in the watch industry, I've been so curious about this since the beginning. But what was it like making the decision to choose, for many of your watches, to hide the Moser logo from view?
It was not an easy decision. I always remember I was in Asia one night, and my brother was probably in Switzerland. We were on a phone call together. He was telling me we need to go extreme as soon as next year. I think it was 2016, etc. We should not have any logo anymore on our watches, right? Listen, let's discuss first and see. Because at first we started in, I think, 2015 or something like that. We started with what we call the concept watches, which was no logo, no indexes. But we still had all our normal collection around it. We had one collection that had nothing. That became very successful, started to become this minimalistic approach, started to become really a DNA of the brand, etc. And through that, there were many steps where we decided, first it was depending on the dial, we will remove the logo. Then we went to, depending on the dial, we put invisible logo. So still keeping, which is still the case today, where on certain watches we have the invisible logo, which you don't see when you look straight to it, but when you look on the side, you will see a logo. And that's still directed through how the dial is made. But why we decided to go there is when we realized that you could recognize a Moser without a logo, that we did a good enough work that our dials by themselves will make you recognize a Moser, and that you didn't need a logo to really recognize Moser. And I think when we realized that we're getting there, that's when we started to decide, let's slowly remove on all our watches, because even if we love our logo, we think our logo is an amazing logo from the 18th century, we love it, linked to the history of the brand. However, our watches look so much nicer without. Like any watches should be. I believe what we're doing, majority of the brands should have adopted it. You don't need a logo on majority of the brands. You should be able to recognize it by itself. Logo are more used for commercial use, or when you do advertising, then yes, it's written in big. But technically, all the successful brand today, you recognize the product without a logo on it. And if you look at a lot of other luxury items, clothes, etc., there's not many logo on it. So, and you should recognize by the quality of the product and the uniqueness of the product.
Right. Yeah, it's the ultimate nod to quiet luxury. And you're right, the design elements are so distinctive, you really don't need the logo. So it's been it's just been something I've been like fangirling over since the beginning with Moser.
On an Alpine edition, for example, and we told them from the beginning, we're not going to put Alpine on the top. There is no Alpine, there is no Moser. It's all at the back. It's written what's about the model, but on the front you get nothing. And they understood that as well, part of the collaboration from day one.
Right. And so, Bertrand, you and your brother took over as co-owners. Was it 13 years ago?
Yeah, to
Something like.
2020.
Okay. And then, so I got my math right. Good. And then, how long into that journey was it that you made the decision to remove the logos or start fully removing them?
Like I say, I would say it went through a period of 4 years. We started probably 2015, 2016 to remove on certain models, but to completely remove on every model was probably 2020. So during 4 years, probably we were in between where we still have some logo, some didn't have. Same thing for the Swiss made. We decided to remove the Swiss made from when we decided to remove Swiss made from our watches to when it was completely removed to all our watches. Took a couple of years because it needs to be the novelties, etc. So I would say during 4 years we started to really remove everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that, and for me personally, I have always chosen to get watches that have like the most minimal amount of text on them. I think it just kind of distracts from the canvas that is the dial, the soul of the watch. And so for me, it's like you're making watches just perfectly for my taste, which is awesome. And of course, it's not like the logo's completely gone, right? You've still got it on the rotor, you've still got the coat of arms. And by the way, this is just a moment for the finishing. It's incredible. I was showing this to my girlfriend last night, who's not really a watch person. She was like, why does it look like it's wet on the inside? I'm like, it's the high quality of the polish. At first I freaked out. I was like, is there water in here? Oh my God. And no, not at all. Not at all. It's just the gleam of it is so perfect. I don't know if I'm going to give this back to you guys, by the way. So Claudio's going to have to chase me or something.
It's Claudio's responsibility, so I'm okay.
Yeah, that's his to deal with. Another question for you. So let's just imagine for a second, you were not in your role as the co-owner of Moser, and you got to pick from any watch in the collection that you could kind of wear as your daily piece. What would you select for yourself?
In Moser or in other brands?
In Moser. We'll start with Moser.
I would wear. I can choose only one. It's a tough one.
Only one.
Only one. That
I told you, harder questions.
I will choose the Streamliner chronograph. Funky blue. I like the new Frozen edition actually, with a green Frozen edition. It was the Funky blue until now my favorite, but now I might move to the Frozen. I love but that you have here on the chronograph. I love those bullhead sort of look that make. I find it. I love the Streamliner in general, and I find the chronograph have an extra look to it with this bullhead sort of with the button for the flyback that make it extremely unique. So I will choose that one.
That is a good one. I got to try that on in New York, and the green dial was just amazing.
Yeah, I love the new Frozen. That's why. So maybe now I'll choose. I will move from the funky blue to the new Frozen green that just got released.
Very cool. All right, that's a good choice. Now I will let you. I will let you pick another brand and model in a second here. But what's another watch brand that you admire today? And it can be a specific model, but just like a brand that you look at and you're like, yeah, I like what they're doing.
There are many where I think you can get inspiration from a Patek Philippe, from how they protected the brands for so many years and how they're building really while protecting their history, their future. There is something quite amazing about how Patek is always long-term strategy. I like how Audemars Piguet went not in the same direction, went more into conquering a new crowd, younger crowd, trying to speak to this audience, whether you like every product or not. But they try to really not have their audience continue to get older and try to conquer new, which I think was the right decision at some point to do. Then in the smaller brands, I'm a big admirer in terms of products of an MB&F. Love what Max is doing. Their perpetual calendar is probably my. If you asked me to choose one watch, might be that one. And like the perpetual for me has a balance of almost a perfect watch in my opinion. Like I said, I pick more from different brands' inspiration of what I think they're doing. Nobody is perfect. We are not also perfect, but I think a lot have very strengths in their own way that can inspire us.
Yeah, definitely. I always like to think of it as the brand is like a band that you listen to, and then each piece in the collection is like a song in the catalog. And while there's elements that are the same in all of them, they've got their different soul and flavor to each piece. And so it really allows you to pick, maybe I don't like that song, but I still
agree.
like the band.
We always say on everything we do, typically also on those products, we don't expect our community to love everything we do. However, we like when our community understand what we're trying to do. Doesn't mean you like all our products. When we did the Studio Underdog a few months ago, yeah, there are some in our community said, not my product, I'm not going to buy it. However, I liked what you did. I like you tried something different, something new, something fresh, even if the product doesn't speak to me. Fine, I understand. If you do a product that everybody like, you fail. You need to create tension between people that will love it and people that will hate it. That, I believe, create more successful product. If you create things that everybody is like, yeah, nice, that's not a successful product. You need reaction. You need reaction.
Yes.
But that means you can create people that hate it. Fine. Hopefully more love it than hate it. But you need to take the risk on all your products that people might say, well, yeah, not my cup of tea. I don't like it. Fine.
Yeah.
I understand it completely. I don't like every product from every other brand. I more or less like every product we do because we design for ourselves first. So I more or less like everything we do.
Right. You can be selfish.
But
Absolutely.
again, I completely understand people not liking it. Part of what we're doing. It's normal.
You know what? I'll share in this particular conversation is it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I'm probably too dumb to not have it. And that's hour markers. So like this obviously just completely devoid of any markers. And like I've really enjoyed, of course, wearing it, but I'm like, man,
Yeah,
I
but
don't know if I could really.
I think if you wear it a bit, you see your brain adapt. It's quite amazing.
So
as you can imagine, I wear it quite a lot. And yes, at first I'm like, is it 7? Is it 8? It's not the minutes the problem, it's the hour. But your brain suddenly really understand it and then focus easier.
Yes. And so I have never, that's the part 2 of this story, Bertrand. I have never had a watch with no hour and minute track on my watch for more than like 3 minutes ever. And so I've spent hours with this watch now. And yeah, I know it's like just a little after 8:30 right now. And so you're right. Your brain does adapt. I did not expect that. And so now I'm slowly selling myself like, maybe I could do a watch with absolutely no hour markers. I've got the power now.
Yes.
I've unlocked a new level of timekeeping in my mind.
Remember,
Really
it's 2 hands is the way you read time almost all your life, except on your phone. So your brain is fast on that.
Yeah. I always find it crazy when people say like, no, but those watches, that's just design. Like that's just jewelry at that point. You're just doing that to make a statement. And I'm like, well, I can't wear a watch just to make a statement. For one, wearing watches is very much a personal thing for me, despite the fact that I have a podcast where I talk about it. But when I'm really wearing a watch, it is for me. And I really do need to know what time it is. A lot of my day is guided by my calendar, and so I need the thing. Maybe just a last question or two for you as we get close to time. First, let me ask, are there any other Mosers around your desk right now that you possibly could show off? Or is it just the 2 on the wrist?
No, I do. By case,
Okay, perfect.
It was not planned. But, I just came back and I have to put them in the safe. Actually, I haven't put them.
All right, well, before they go back in,
exactly.
Let's see what you got here.
I got 2. The first one goes a bit with the Alpine with this one because it's a previous edition. And the funny part of that is that basically it was one of the driver wearing it, and as now he needs to wear the new one, they gave this one and they forgot to take it back. So I have to bring them to the next Grand Prix back to them. So
what a burden having to go to another Grand Prix.
Yeah. This is a cylindrical tourbillon, so not the best way.
I got to try that one on in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, right after I think it got released.
You know, it's
it's
all skeletonized. Was 100% limited edition in the spring night.
Yeah. One of the things that I've noticed actually also in wearing one of your tourbillons is it is loud. The tick is louder than any other watch that I own, and I love it. I like the sound. I like hearing.
Too close from your ear at night, especially the tourbillon.
Oh yeah.
Is loud.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like it. I like hearing the rotor. I like the seconds ticking by. So it like a silent watch for me, like it's not my favorite thing. I love Rolexes. I'm a huge fan, but you can't hear the rotor at all. And you can only really hear the seconds if it's like right up against your ear. But this like can actually be a few feet away and I can still hear it, which is really cool to me.
Would you like to see a second one? I don't know if I get the right light, but this
I can see it.
The Endeavor. It's a novelty we launched in Watches and Wonders as well, with the purple enamel dial, hammered and enamel dial, which is a technique we've been using for a couple of years, but the latest version with this beautiful, you can see maybe.
Yeah, that's a rich purple. And the second hand.
Favorite.
Yeah, the second hand also is colored. The second hand's colored, which means something, right?
Yes, it means it means that it's a double hairspring. So at the back, you'll see also. Let me move the right way. There is a blue bridge, as you can see on the balance wheel, and that's to indicate that it's a double hairspring.
Awesome. For those who are not maybe the most technically aware, what are the advantages of a double hairspring?
So double hairspring, basically, because you have one that open, the other one closed, then open, close, etc. It works on the gravity, a bit like a tourbillon. So it works on the precision of the watch, because the default of one hairspring will cancel the default of the other one. So we'll make the watch more precise.
Got it. Okay, very cool. See, I'm also trying to teach some things here on the show. Would it ever make sense to have a tourbillon and a double hairspring? Does that already exist? I have no idea.
All our tourbillons have double hairspring.
Oh, okay.
You see? So we put extra complication to our tourbillon.
Thought of it.
Cylindrical. The cylindrical is not double. It's a single hairspring, but all the other tourbillons are all double hairsprings. So good question.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I always tell the team, not everybody knows that our tourbillons are all double hairsprings.
It goes to show back to the minimalist design, the quiet luxury of it. But when you really go under the hood, the technical complexity, the high level of finishing, it comes together into just such a unique offering and package, which is one that is unmistakable. And if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So, as you look back on your 13 years of ownership, and then you start to look forward, I am curious, what you could share about what the future possibly holds for Moser, Bertrand.
We believe we are still at the beginning of our journey with Moser. We have many things we want to do in the future. The growth in the last few years have been amazing, but we still believe there is a lot ahead. We have 2028 coming soon, which will be the 200 years anniversary of Moser. So we're working towards that with many great products, novelties that we've already been working on for a couple of years. So to say, that will be a very big milestone for the brand. At the same time, something that is extremely important, we're building a new manufacturer. That will
really?
Be by end of 2027, so in a couple of years. So be ready for our 200 years anniversary as well. That will be a very important step. It's a great improvement for the brand. We want to integrate more and more vertically in the manufacture. They are more worked typically on the dials that we want to do more internally, on enameled, on things like that we want to master. So for that we needed also a new manufacturer. So there are many things we can do. So we want to really control and master more part of of what we do. We of course make all our movements in-house, but there are more we can continue to to master on our side, and that new manufacturer will help us. So yeah, we still have a lot of things we want to do in the next 5-10 years to build the brand. Still believe that the potential of the brand has great potential to grow in the future. Of course, at its own rhythm. The most important is to continue to build the brand awareness, to build hopefully good products, to continue to have our own way of doing marketing, but also our own way to do our products that I think differentiate ourselves from others and make Moser quite unique today. And I think that's where the success of Moser comes from. So we need to keep that and make sure we can keep this DNA. And that's the role of my brother and myself to make sure we continue to go in the right direction.
That's amazing, and congrats on starting to build the new manufacturer. I'm sure a lot of the Moser fans will be happy because maybe that means that there might be a few more watches in production every year. Maybe, possibly.
Like any companies, we believe it's important. It's healthy for the company to grow. However, to grow the production is not what we're focusing on. We think it needs to continue to grow. The demand is still there. There is more sell-out than sell-in. That's the most important. What is more important, in my opinion, especially in my part of the job, so how we are divided with my brother that is more on the production side and more on the distribution part. What is more important on my side and on what I believe for Moser is to continue to create a wider demand. So build the brand awareness. If more people want you, but you're still producing only 500 watches more than today. Today we are more or less a bit less than 4,000 watches. If we build to 5,000, but 3 times more people want your watches, that's what is more important for me, is to continue to really build the knowledge of the brand, the desire of the brands, and the brand awareness. The production then will slowly follow. Every year we slowly grow. That's healthy for the company to every year put objectives that we have a 10% growth, 5%, 15%, depending on the year. We always follow very closely what sells, if any issues on the market, because if we need, we're very healthy, so we can decide to reduce if we needed production. We haven't been in this position so far, but if we need one day, we will. Like I say, most important is to make sure that the product we make and build get on wrists.
I love it. Yeah, and you're running the business so thoughtfully as well, which is just really, really cool to see. It's a precise sport in and of itself.
Yeah, no, we don't do everything perfect, but of course not at all. But yeah, we have the chance to have a great team with us. Claudio, that you mentioned, that is doing an amazing job in US since he joined us a few years ago. We really saw an acceleration of the market in America in general, and it's thanks to him and the team in the US, but it's the same globally at HQ, in the subsidiaries where everybody believes in the project, everybody is behind the project, and we have the chance also to be 2 of us with my brother, so we can also divide a lot and do our own things, which also I think is a strength to the brand.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You have to divide and conquer, play to your own strengths, and one of my favorite quotes in business that I learned early on is better, never best. And I think Moser really embodies that, because if you just said, hey, guess what? We're done. We've made everything we're going to make. There's going to be just variations of that. I think a lot of people would still be really happy with that. But you're not settling. You're going to keep taking more risks. Bertrand, thank you so much for coming on Watch the Tech today. Such a pleasure to have you on and get to share some of these different stories. And for those watching and listening, please like and subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean a lot. And please, will some black t-shirt company sponsor me? Gotta find one.
Thank you very much.